Hi everyone. My name is Jerry Wise, and today I'd like to talk about how narcissistic parents are like 4-year-old children in adult bodies. And there's a reason why I want to talk about that, because I think how we perceive them has a lot to do with how much they can hurt us or not hurt us, how much we expect from them or not expect from them, and it can really make a difference. If we can see that they're really 4-year-olds in adult bodies, and I think there are a lot of adults who are, let's say, in their 60s, like I am, but who are not in their 60s emotionally. They may be 12, they may be 14, they may be 7, they may even be 21. And I think typically, like the midlife crisis, is when the 40-year-old is now kind of being inhabited by the teenager. Though they have all the adult trappings, career, job, or responsibility, or money sometimes. They look like adults, they look older, but that may not be their emotional age at all. And I think it's very helpful if we can kind of look at emotional age as something very important. Now, in terms of narcissistic parents, what are some of the things they do that might seem like they're 4-year-olds in an adult body? Temper tantrums, not dealing well with someone saying no. They don't get along with others. Many times toddlers don't. They're still in a very narcissistic, and in fact, a toddlerhood is a narcissistic stage of development. And so is adolescence. That's a narcissistic stage of development. But that's a healthy time to be more narcissistic in a healthy way, but not something we want to extend on into adulthood. We want to be self-confident and secure without being narcissistic. So they have temper tantrums, they don't do well with no, they don't play well with others in the sandbox, they have unregulated emotions, much like toddlers do, or 4-year-olds, can go up and down, or 3-year-olds. They can be willful, selfish, self-absorbed. I think for the toddler, they think they're the only one that exists in the universe. And then again, we have kind of a second toddlerhood in adolescence. And again, adolescents will at times think they're the only people in the world and the only people that exist. The narcissistic parent can be distracted easily away from you, can be distracted very much so. They might have little insight. The toddler doesn't have very much insight. They don't see how A connects with B. They don't see how if I'm standing on a couch, and if I walk off of it, I will drop and fall. They don't connect the distance to what they're doing, and then they wonder why they fall and get hurt. They don't have that insight that connects that for them. Narcissists are very similar. They don't understand when you go, well, that really hurt my feelings. I don't know why you said that. What do they often say? Oh, you're just too sensitive. Or, I didn't mean anything by that. I don't know why that would hurt you. They're walking off the couch thinking they should just be able to walk off the couch and don't see the connection between getting hurt and walking off the couch. They don't connect those things. And so I think that's the narcissistic parent problem. I think seeing them as 4-year-olds can help us to adjust our expectations and stop waiting on them to give us what they were never capable of giving us. Why are you looking forward to support, love, and acceptance from someone who's emotionally 4 years old? Why would you how would you want to do that? I'm not shaming you for doing that. I understand that completely. But when I think about it logically, it doesn't work very well in a logical way. They can't give me what I want and what I need. They never could, and they can't now. Secondly, if they act like 4-year-olds and we internalize our family dynamics and internalize the family within us, how do we still act like 4-year-olds? Are there ways in which you act like a 4-year-old? I know I can. I have to be careful sometimes. If I'm tired, if I've been out, and then I have somebody who's in customer service and they are just terrible, my little toddler inside wants to be reactive, and I want to act like a 4-year-old. And so we want to be careful how we act like 4-year-olds because that's something we've internalized. Thirdly, don't use the narcissistic family template on your relationships and life. Because that relationship between the narcissistic parent and you was a very unhealthy relationship. But often we internalize that as almost the norm. And I think this is where you see someone who's been abused by a narcissistic parent verbally, emotionally, maybe physically, get into a marriage, and what happens? The marriage turns out to be physical, emotional, and mental abuse. And we wonder, well, how can that be? They went through that. How could they go through it here in adulthood? Because that's become normalized. What I want to say is that what is awful becomes normal. And I think that's common with narcissistic parents. And lastly, I think what's most important is that we learn to lower our expectations. Often we are unhappy, miserable, stay enmeshed with the narcissistic parent. Even if we've gone no contact, we can still stay enmeshed to them even with no contact. That's why I tell people they need to work on their inner no contact, not just their outer no contact. You can go no contact, but then that family member stays with you for the rest of your life. Let's not do that. And some people need external or outer no contact because there's abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse, all kinds of abuse that's possible. We don't want to subject ourselves to that. And so we may need to have external no contact. But then what about going no contact internally? Meaning I'm able to detach, to let go, to not need them anymore, to what they say is a so what. It just becomes, they become neutral, a non-issue for us. And I think that's kind of the goal we want to work towards. Lowering our expectation will help us get to that goal. Because then we'll go, there's no reason why I need to seek for being soothed, loved, accepted, and cared about from a narcissistic parent when that's not even possible. Then I have to look for other ways to meet those needs, but at least begin to accept the fact it's not going to happen with a narcissistic parent. Because once we decide that, once we realize and lower those expectations, we actually start to grow up. Once we realize that. I hope that if you're looking for more help with how to do some of these things that I talk about in my videos, I have an online program, Family Differentiation, Your New Road to Self. Please check that out. I think you would find it very helpful for you. I want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment, and like. Have a great day, and be wise.